Hello everyone and welcome to the Crochet Trends of 2025 video. Just before we start, this is Mike. This is my itty bitty llama pattern. I call this one Mike because I'm going to be using it as my microphone. I'm going to pretend to be holding a little microphone this entire video because I can, and I just think it's funny to do like a commentary video when you're holding a mic. Like, I love watching YouTube videos like that, so that's why this is Mike. Say hello, Mike. Hello. Yeah. Anyway, let's begin. As I was saying, welcome along to the Crochet Trends of 2025 video by me, Zach, aka Crochet Me Zaddy, crochet enthusiast, crochet artist, yarn mogul, amigurumi designer person, crochet person thing here on the internet. That is my official government title. Welcome along. This is the second trends video that I'm doing. I did one last year in 2024, which kind of popped off. I was really proud of that video. I think when doing these videos, I mean, you have no idea what the trends are gonna be, and it's just like a bit of fun to do. And so when last year's video had a few of the trends come true, I was like, I'm quite good at this. I take a lot of pride in that last video, especially in regards to dragon plushies and like fantasy plushies. I was like, these are gonna pop off, and then they did pop off, and I was like, I told you. I just feel very good about that video. I'm hoping to do that again for this year's video, for the 2025 trends. In saying that, where I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this all came true, I do like a little bit of research before I actually do these videos. I go check out videos on fashion trends, on home decor trends, and I also go check out the Pinterest Predicts trends, where they have like a bunch of like predictions of what they're predicting for 2025 based on what a lot of people are actually researching on Pinterest. I think last year when I did that, a lot of my trends were really heavily based on that, and when I put forward all those trends in my last video, I don't really think many of them came true. So I don't really know about the Pinterest Predict trends. I think they're like a good guideline of what people might be searching at the time, but I don't think they're necessarily going to be the right predictions for 2025. Like, I think what I believe and what I'm seeing coming through is more intuitive than what they're presenting with their data, which I know feels like a crazy thing to say, being like, I'm right, the data's wrong. But I mean, like, if a president can do that, I can do it too. Anyway, in this video, the way I've set it out is I've got 20 trends here that I'm predicting for the crochet world. I have decided to put them into two different areas. I've got one which is about like clothing, so I've got 6 trends that I want to talk about there. And then I have 14 trends which are based more in the plushie amigurumi side of things, just because that, like, this is my bread and butter. This is the world, the community that I'm very heavily involved in. And I think I have more of a perspective on what will be trending there. Although in saying that, I think a lot of these trends and kind of themes and things will cross over between like home decor and clothing and plushies and just generally. So watch the whole video and then make up your own mind on what you think will be trending or what will be the general theme of things. But yeah, should we just get started? I guess so. So I know I just said like you'll get an idea of what the theme will be overall, but with my thoughts and feelings about the overall vibe of what this year is going to be bringing is I'm thinking the trend is going to be in the galaxy realm. I think it's going to be like an intersection of our old favorite things like from the 70s, different style trends, and then bringing on this kind of fresh AI intergalactic kind of perspective that will blend them together and be something that's renewed, like a renewed take on old trends from way back. So that's where I was kind of going with this vision, and that's what you'll probably see in these trends and everything that I'm talking about. Let's just get straight into it. Going straight into the clothing area, I've given this like a subcategory which I'm calling Futuristic Bohemian Styling, and that's essentially what it is. I'm thinking of how bohemian styling was and then giving it a more of a futuristic twist. So going deeper into there, I think trend number 1 is we're going to be seeing loose cardigans, and that's like a mixture of both oversized cardigans and then kind of like long length cardigans. So when I'm thinking of this, I think of one creator in particular being Mrsmoonheaven. She has a lunar cardigan pattern which I have made myself, which is this like large baggy oversized cardigan. I think that's going to be very popular as a pattern for 2025. I know it was a very popular pattern back in like 2022, and I think it's like circling back to having its prime time again. Very good pattern, very easy to make, and I think a lot of people, if they're wanting to try out like crochet clothing and things, I would go check out that pattern in particular. I'll have this all linked below as well, just in case you want to go check them out. But as I was saying, in regards to having like loose cardigans, I don't necessarily just mean oversized, I also mean that long length ones. And I think a good person to check out examples of this is Evelyn and Peter. They have, I'm thinking this kind of flowy styling is what's going to be quite popular in the crochet world, especially in the clothing world. So I think that's the vibe I'm leaning to with this kind of bohemian styling. It's just cardigans. But then when you're wearing a cardigan or going into this kind of futuristic bohemian styling, I think satchels are gonna be a great styling point. So that's my trend number 2 is satchels. And I'm not necessarily meaning like tote bags or like really big bags. I'm thinking like little teeny bags with a long strap. I don't know if that satchel is the right word, but that's what I call it anyway. So I'm thinking a lot of people with their long strap bags, and these little bags are gonna have a lot of like little intricate details added to them. It's not necessarily just gonna be a bag. I think it's gonna be a bag with fringe or a bag with little key chains or bag tags and things like that. And I think that's gonna be what people are going to use as a point of styling alongside their more flowy pieces of clothing. So someone might make like a loose cardigan and then they'll make like a bag to match with fun little intricate details on there. That's where I'm thinking this is going. In that same line of thought, I think headbands are gonna make a comeback, and I'm thinking like knitting machine headbands are gonna be the go-to for a lot of people because they're really simple to make. That one that has like the twist on it, I think that's gonna be very, very popular for 2025. And I think in addition to that, a lot of people are gonna be making a lot of crochet headbands, or even like headscarves, either the ones that are like that kind of granny stitch style ones. I think Passionate Kelsey's made quite a few of them. If you go check out her videos, hi Kelsey. And then I think also more intricate styles of those are gonna be coming into fashion. I actually just think there's gonna be a lot of intricate stylings in clothing in general. But yeah, I think more intricate headbands or just headbands in general. And that's gonna be going alongside in fashion with those loose fit cardigans and satchels. The next area of focus I think is going to be crochet shirts, and this is more of a masculine trend, I guess. A person that comes to mind is my dear friend Edwin from Edwininja. He has made so many fun shirt patterns. You should go check them out. I think this kind of shirt style is going to be very, very popular for those who want to go for more of a masculine styling. I think Edwin has so many cool, intricate, detailed shirt patterns out there, and I think there's actually a lot of shirt patterns out there, and I think there's going to be a lot more coming in for 2025. But once again, I think that is going to be more of shirt patterns that have that more intricate styling, and it's going to be more of like a focal piece in someone's outfit when they're going out to festivals or a night out or something like that. They really want to have a crochet shirt that really stands out as their piece of their outfit. And I think rather than just having like this kind of granny stitch shirt, which is still nice, I think they're gonna be wanting to try out different stitch styles and having different textures on those shirts just to really make it intriguing and intricate. And in that same line of thought, I think crochet vests, although I feel like crochet vests have been around and quite popular for like the past 2 years, I think they're still gonna be staying strong, but only in the realm of having more designs on them. Also, front of mind is Edwin again. He has this really cool crochet vest pattern, which you can see here has this very fun, intricate design on there. And I'm thinking these vests are not really gonna be like necessarily everyday wear, but I think people are gonna be trying to lean into more formal wear with these vests. I've seen people out and about in like social events where they're using like a fine, very like fuzzy, maybe like a mohair yarn to create these kind of vests and make them look really, really fashionable, but not in the sense of everyday wear, in the sense that they're wearing this out to the social event to really make a statement. So that's where I'm thinking crochet vests are gonna be popular, but I don't think they'll be as popular in more of a generic sense. Yeah. And then trend number 6, granny squares are here to stay. I think granny squares have had like a bit of a resurgence again, as they always do. I feel like every year granny squares just come back like every 6 months. I think people are like, yeah, making all these cute granny square things, and then they just kind of taper off, and then suddenly 6 months later they're like, let's get back into it. Let's make a granny square yarn. Let's make a granny square blanket. I don't know. People just love them. They're not going anywhere. So I think a lot of people are going to have another resurgence in this, and I think if people are wanting to make these looser cardigans, you got like the hexa cardigan, that's a granny stitch. You can make small bags with granny squares. You can make crochet shirts. Like, I think there's also the hexagon shirt. Can't remember the name right now, but there's the hexagon shirt, which was also a very simple, stylish looking shirt. And then I think a lot of crochet vests. I think it's gonna be an area where a lot of beginners are leaning into to learn the shaping and the approach to creating clothing or other items like this. So that's where we are with futuristic bohemian styling, and those are my first 6 trends. Now we'll make it to the area of my expertise, which is the plushies world. And this area I have themed with the name Futuristic Fantasy. Once again, still going within that kind of galaxy theme. A lot of my research here, I think I mentioned it earlier, kind of is based off like movies or where I think like the vibe is going. Last year I said we're gonna have a lot of dragons and fantasy, and I was very right about that. I think this year we're gonna be leaning more into the fantasy stylings of things. So the first trend I've actually put down here is aliens. I think with the movies, like the Lilo and Stitch movie coming out, we've got Elio from Pixar coming out. I think these are 2 very futuristic, cutesy alien kind of movies, and I think we're gonna be seeing a lot of people creating these kind of monsters or alien-like monsters, and then having that as their kind of, that's what the trend is gonna be. These weird fantasy creatures. And I feel like we've already been seeing that quite a bit. Like, I think people are really starting to lean into that world, and I think this is just gonna keep excelling more and more and just stay as a consistent trend throughout 2025. I think in that same realm where we're going into that kind of futuristic intergalactic thing, I do think robot style kind of plushies might come into play. Like, think things like Bender from Futurama, or I don't know, I've actually got any other robots in my mind, but I think robots are gonna pop up every now and again throughout this, just because they fit in that world of like aliens, space, intergalactic vibes. Interestingly, once again in this kind of fantasy world, I mean, depends what you determine as fantasy or not, is like deity-like plushies. I've seen a bit of this, and it's kind of like there's one creator in particular, and I could not remember their name. I'm gonna go hunt them down very, very shortly. But they created something like, it would be like a cat, but this cat has these giant, intricate wings. And it's kind of this kind of like god cat. So I'm thinking there's gonna be a few people out there who are gonna be playing into this realm of like, I'm gonna make such a deity-like version of an animal. So you'll see probably winged things, to be honest, like that cat, or you'll see like a wolf with wings, maybe even demonic like things, just things that look very grandiose and have a lot of like majesty about them, and you're like, wow, that is a god, you know? So that's where I'm going with that. I think there's gonna be this kind of fantasy creatures that are like aliens, then we're gonna have some robots, and then I think we're gonna be tying it off with these kind of deity, more kind of complex styled plushies. So yeah. And then on that same realm of where I said fantasy, and I said earlier, like last year we had dragons, I think we're still gonna have dragons to a degree. I think the dragons are gonna taper off towards like the mid-year. Like, there's a lot of dragons out there, and I think people are starting to realize that there's only so many ways you can design a dragon. I think people are gonna be making all sorts of dragons where they're like small bodies and big wings, or big bodies, tiny wings, and just, yeah, I think we've figured out every single shape a dragon can have, and I think we're gonna run out of ideas, and people are gonna be so dragoned out by the middle of the year. But there's also a movie coming out, aka the How to Train Your Dragon movie. So I think we've still got dragons for a little bit longer, and then it'll taper off. That's my prediction. I might be wrong, I don't know, but that's what I'm predicting. Other animals that I think will be popular this year that are outside of the futuristic fantasy stylings, I've got snakes. It's the year of the snake. I think we've already seen a huge amount of snake patterns. I think people have started exploring different ways snakes could be included as a pattern. We've got cobras. I've seen 2-headed snakes. I've got like a very fun scale style snake pattern out there. Crochet Grove is a really cool twisty style of a snake. So there's only so many ways you can make a snake, even less so than a dragon. And I think the year of the snake kind of trend is gonna pop off for January and probably February. And then I think it might just, but it's still a trend, so there's that. And also, because it's the year of the snake and I'm doing like a full-on temperature snake throughout this year, I will be doing a snake throughout the entire year, and I think there's a few people who have joined me from my community, so hello other snake making community members. Anyway, yeah, so snakes are kind of on trend. Not to the same degree as dragons is what I'm saying, but they're still on trend. Another animal, I think sloths. I just think sloths are gonna come back. There's a sloth movie coming out. I think it's called Sloth, oh my god, Sloth Lane. Why is that so hard to say? Yeah, there's a sloth movie coming out. I haven't actually seen Zootopia 1, but Zootopia 2 is also coming out, and I know there's like a sloth character in there that everyone loved, so I just think people are gonna be like, oh yeah, sloths are funny and cute, and then they will be appearing throughout the year as well. That's just a vibe I have. There's nothing more than those two reasons of why I think it'll be popping off for 2025. The next one is the ocean, which isn't like, there's not an animal in particular, but I think a lot of sea creatures are gonna be a major influence this year. This is gonna tie into the yarns and colors here. But I think a lot of sea creatures, not necessarily fish, but probably more like octopus, starfish, jellyfish. I think these kinds of weird, wonderful, mystical creatures are gonna be still around for a lot of 2025. I think they've been popping off since like 2021. Like the little octopus creations, mini octos, octomom. Yeah, I think there's been a lot of sea creatures over the past few years, and I just think they're still gonna be trending. People seem to love them. I'm not a sea creature person myself, but my most popular pattern last year was a seahorse, so I think they're still popping off. But another reason I think they're gonna keep popping off is because of the yarns and colors that I think will be trending for this year. So let's just jump into that area. I've got 3 different yarns that I think will pop up for this year. I think, first of all, we'll go back to clothing pieces. I think a lot of these will be made in finer cottons. I think cotton will be quite a strong yarn of this year. And that's just because people are gonna be making a lot of bags, they're gonna be making a lot of intricate things, and when you're making intricate things, you need a finer yarn. So I think cottons, finer cottons are gonna be popping up this year. In regards to more plushy vibes where I exist in the crochet world, I think sparkly chenilles are gonna be popping off. I think a lot of people wanna be making these kind of galaxy, alien, deity kind of creatures, and I think sparkly yarns really like lend a hand to that, to making things seem more godlike or ethereal or galaxy-like, and so I just think people are just gonna be leaning into sparkly chenilles. And then I think because of those sparkly chenilles, or people wanting to use more of those, I think that's actually gonna be tying in back into those ocean sea creature things. If you're not making all those galaxy creatures and things, but you bought all the sparkly yarns because everyone else is using them, you're probably gonna start making sea creatures because they look cool on those yarns too. So that's where I was thinking, like that's where I'm going with those thoughts as well. And then, okay, sorry, wait, I made a mistake here. So I've actually got 2 yarns and 2 colors that I'm talking about. My yarns are sparkle chenilles and finer cottons, and then when I get into colors, I've actually got 2 options here. So first up with colors, I've got blues, pinks, and greens. I just think Galaxy is gonna be so strong here, and I think those are the 3 colors that people lean towards when they're trying to make aliens. There's a blue, a pink, and a green, specifically like a navy blue. And I think with like the Lilo and Stitch movie coming out, people are gonna be using that kind of darker blue a lot. And then they're gonna try and make a lot of like the friends from Lilo and Stitch, which in my mind, I think there's a pink one and a green one. I don't know if I'm wrong there or right or whatever. I just think those are all within the Galaxy vibe. So this is maybe a stretch of a guess or a trend, but it's where I'm going with that one. Also, the Wicked movie. It's been so popular since the end of last year, and I think its popularity is just gonna continue on until the second part comes out later this year. So I think pink and green is here to stay until we get through that. So that's why I'm thinking that. I think it's gonna be dark blues and then hints of like pinks and greens all throughout. And then we have our second color here. So the second color I've just called neons, and the reason why I'm going into neon colors, which might seem a bit random, is just what I am predicting is gonna be the trend by the end of this year. I think with a lot of fashion trends and things, I feel like a lot of people have been moving through like the 90s into 2000s, and now I think we're gonna be heading into the 2010s by the end of this year, just with fashion and trends generally. And I think people are gonna be heading back into like animal prints. And that's why I'm thinking neons is gonna pop off. I know that might be a bit of a stretch to try to think that, but it's just what I'm predicting. I think, yeah, people are gonna be using neons alongside animal prints, and I think those neons are gonna be appearing in a lot of those animals with the fun animal prints. Which then brings me to my last 3 trends of the year, which is gonna be in the zoo safari theme. that same reasoning, I think we're just gonna be seeing zebras, tigers, and then like cheetah, leopard style kind of animals. I did think about cow print maybe being there, but I think cows might be on the out as a trend. Sorry to cancel cows right now. I know a lot of people love cow plushies. Sorry about it, it's just, I'm just predicting. But yeah, I think zebra, tiger, cheetah, anything with an animal print, those three there, my last three trends that I think are gonna be popping off just because people wanna make fun neon designs, and I think those prints really lend themselves to the neon colors. That's all my trends for 2025. I do have an extra one for fun, which is Pokemon. I think Pokemon has been on the up for the last year. Like with the new card game coming out and a lot of people getting into making more Pokemon plushies and things, and especially around this kind of futuristic fantasy style animal trend going on, and I think Pokemon just kind of fits in there. It doesn't necessarily just have to be Pokemon, but like even like Digimon or any of those nostalgic cartoons that have these kind of alien-like creatures. I think a lot of people are going to be going back to their childhoods and thinking of these cartoons and what kind of nostalgic alien creature things that from these kind of fantasy worlds they could bring into Crochet of 2025. That's just something I'm thinking is going to happen, but I also have an extra maybe I have an extra prediction, but I also think there's going to be an extra prediction here that Nintendo and a lot of these companies are actually going to crack down on a lot of people selling Pokemon patterns, because they've done that before. They did it a few years ago. I saw a lot of shops get closed because of people and the copyright issues and things, so I just think that might also happen. That's just more of something that's more of a bingo card that's not necessarily a trend. That's on my bingo card for 2025, not necessarily a trend, but I do think Pokemon things and like other nostalgic animal alien-like creatures will be also trending for 2025 as a fun little extra trend there. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That was my 2025 trends video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think I'm onto something? Do you think I have hit the nail on the head? Do you think I'm completely wrong? Look, I just put this list together. I think these are gonna happen. I back myself. I was right once before and I might be right again. I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy for people to come into the comments and tell me I might be wrong. Let me know. Happy to have those discussions over there. But before we end this video, I do need to say a huge thank you to everyone over on my Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. You mean the world to me. I appreciate you all so much. I've said this in every single video before. I cannot be doing this without all of you there supporting me. If anyone is out there and wants to support my channel through a monetary value, help pay my rent and help support this channel generally, I appreciate it. You get patterns like this little itty bitty llama, the little love llama, or aka the little llama buddy, and many more as benefits for signing up to my Patreon, as well as just joining a really cool, fun, and supportive community. But that's all for that. Thank you, Patreon. Thank you everyone watching this video, and I'm gonna end it here and await to see what your reaction is to what my trend predictions are. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because even if you're not joining the Patreon, your support still means the world to me, so I can make these fun little videos in my room holding plushies as microphones. Yay! Okay, let's end it there. Bye everyone! Bye-bye! I'll see you soon! Bye! Hey, here is the dance at the end of the video that I do while we wait for the preview videos to sit here and you think about whether you want to watch them or not. They're probably funny videos. Maybe they're more interesting videos. Maybe they're a vlog. Maybe they're a market recap. I've done it all. Okay, I'm going now. Bye!